Hello, it's Nat here. Let's take a look at what's been making news. If you're in Victoria, holidays are over, and tomorrow it's back to school. There are some big changes coming to schools all around Australia. So, to clear things up, we thought we'd check out the forecast for Term 2. Here's Leela.
Thanks, Nat. As you can see here, all of these states are clear of Term 2 until later this month. So we'll check back in as it moves closer to those states and let you enjoy your holidays. Now to Victoria. It's a student-free day today and it's looking like there's a 100% chance of Term 2 hitting tomorrow. There's a forecast of online learning at home for most students with free internet access and laptops to those who need them. Let's check in with a student on the ground.
Hey there BTN, the forecast for this term's learning is going to be amazing. I'm so excited. So, how will we be communicating to our teachers during this term? We can't just roll up to school. We can communicate with our teachers through video chats, FaceTime or Facebook or Google Classroom.
Some students will be heading to school if their parents can't work from home or they don't have access to a suitable learning environment. Now moving up to Queensland and the NT. Term 2 will hit these states next week. At this stage, the forecast in Queensland is remote learning from home for the first 5 weeks until around the 15th of May, when things will be re-evaluated. Over to the NT now. The forecast is school as usual unless your parents want you to learn from home. And that's the forecast. Back to you, Nat.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is now safely back at home. You might remember we told you he was in intensive care in hospital after getting COVID-19. Well, now that he's feeling better, he's recorded this message to thank the healthcare workers who saved his life.
The reason in the end my body did start to get enough oxygen was because for every second of the night, they were watching.
A hidden mural's been found at a school in Melbourne, and you'll never guess where. I don't know, you might. These chalk drawings were uncovered over the Easter break at Kew Primary School. There's the Australian coat of arms, a girl holding flowers, and even an elephant. But where were they found exactly? Behind an old blackboard and storage cupboards. Apparently the old school way to stash your art. It's been 50 years since a mission to the moon almost ended in disaster. An explosion forced the crew of Apollo 13 to return to Earth 56 hours into their journey. And as Kale found out, it's one incredible rescue story.
It's probably a line you've heard plenty of times before.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. Houston, we've had a problem.
But you might not know the story behind it. Those famous words were uttered 50 years ago by astronaut Jack Swaggart on a mission called Apollo 13. Apollo 13 was NASA's third mission to the moon, only 9 months after Neil Armstrong said his famous line.
That's one small step.
Yeah, we get it, Neil. Anyway, on the second night, one of their oxygen tanks exploded, and suddenly it wasn't a mission to the moon, it was a race back to Earth. The Houston Swaggart was talking to was Mission Control, and pretty quickly they got to work on a solution. Basically, they had to reroute their GPS back to Earth and take a big U-turn around the moon. It was a tough journey, but on April 17, the crew splashed down in the Pacific Ocean, alive and well. So while they never made it to the moon, the mission was a disastrous success, and one that we're still talking about 50 years on.
In this time of COVID-19, there's more than one way to draw a crowd. On a wet and rainy day in Taiwan, nothing was going to stop the baseball season from going ahead. And nothing was going to stop these diehard fans from cheering them on. Or at least being there at a safe distance. A bunch of Russian artists put on a special show at the historic Bolshoi Theatre, coming together in support of healthcare workers. And while the seats may have been empty, they still managed to draw a crowd, with the performance airing on TV right across Russia. And Italian opera singer Andrea Bocelli live-streamed this performance as part of a Music for Hope event. It currently has more than 30 million views, and it was #1 on trending. Now that's drawing a crowd. That's all we've got time for today, but we'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, why don't you hit like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the future news videos we make.